Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah and I wanted to welcome all of you to another installment of Monologue Monday here on my YouTube channel.
Monologue Monday.
If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning back in, and as always, I hope you can take something away from this video as well. With that being said, let's get into this installment of Monologue Monday. So for this episode of Monologue Monday, I wanted to share some of my brief thoughts on kind of technology as a whole and how far we've come and how far we continue to push things, and really, the question of, is it all necessary, right? Is it truly augmenting, our experiences, as humans, right? And I think at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants, is to have the best experience as humans as possible while we are alive, right? Because we all know that, or we all should know, that our time here on Earth is finite and it goes by extremely, extremely fast. So, these tools, these applications, the software, these machines, they're all around us every day, right? I'm in front of a pretty advanced machine myself that records, high quality video. There's a computer behind me that I use, and these are all technologies, right, that are a part of my life on a day-to-day basis. But there's other things going on, right, outside of what I have in this room, right? There's quite a bit of this AI boom that we have that's in the media pretty much constantly. There's electric cars, there's self-driving cars, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. And like I said, the question for me, after really kind of sitting down and thinking, is all of this stuff really worth it, right? Is it worth all of the money that companies are putting in? And I think in a lot of cases too, it's taxpayer dollars that are kind of maybe assisting with these endeavors, right? These companies will work with the government to receive a certain amount of funding or something like that, and that money from the government is obviously, those are taxpayer dollars, right? So it's our money that's going into it as well. The main reason why I kind of wanted to make this Monologue Monday about this topic, and this is a huge topic. It's certainly not something that I can cover, in a 10 or 15 minute monologue video. The topic of technology as a whole, and if it's going in the right direction, if it's worth it, and if it augments, if it makes our experiences as humans better, could be it could be a movie, right? It could be an essay, right? Maybe a dissertation or something like that. Probably a dissertation would be the best way to do it. But I'm just going to share some of a few of my thoughts that kind of came across my mind within the last few days. So allow me to kind of set the scene a little bit. So I was on YouTube, as I usually am, watching videos, seeing what, YouTube kind of acts as my source of news, as of recent. But I came across a video where, evidently there's a bunch of tech reviewers on YouTube that get the latest technology from Apple and what all of these different tools and so on, and they get to test them early, right? And they can make videos on it. But the most recent one that I came across were these glasses, right? These huge, thick glasses that looked very toy-like, that were part of this augmented reality endeavor that some companies are kind of getting into, where you have these glasses and you can see the outside world, but it's linked to these screens in front of your eyes that tell you what type of tree something is, what type of fruit something is. It can do recording, it can do maybe translations, and all of these. You can play games on it and so on. And of course, this is very similar to virtual reality, right? Virtual reality hubs that people wear on their face and look like a bumblebee, kind of. They look absolutely ridiculous, but those are more entertainment, right? These, from my understanding, were supposed to be implemented more into a day-to-day life, where you wear them like you do glasses, and you have these tools at your disposal when you're just going amongst your day-to-day. So the question, of course, that came to my mind after really thinking about where these types of devices, or just in general, where technology is going to be in the next 10 or 15, 20 years, kind of scared me a little bit, not because I think there's going to be robots taking things over. I don't really think that necessarily, but what I do think is that these when we over implement these types of devices, these screens, these machines, really is what it is, into many individuals' lives, it kind of takes away from our the human aspect of us, right? We're not really supposed to look at one of the functions of these glasses was, you would be able to look at fruit and it would tell you what fruit it is. Now, for me, if you don't know that a pineapple is a pineapple, and and a tomato is a tomato and a carrot is a carrot, maybe there's something else that's wrong, right? I know it's this identification thing, and I get it, right? Google search, you can do an image search and it can do largely the same thing. And maybe it might be helpful if you run across, a plant that's potentially poisonous. Although I hope that you wouldn't, start touching like really colorful frogs or something and not know that they're poisonous. But, that's just kind of my opinion. But in general, I think what happens is when we start implementing all of these screens, all of these machines, really, right? All of these machines, all of these algorithms, whatever, that try to play a role in our life, it distracts us, right? It distracts us from what's really important in life, which are interpersonal interactions, right? Human-like interactions where there are flaws, there are mistakes, and that ultimately is what makes us human, right? And that experience, right, the human experience of not having technology around you, not having ads in front of you, not having, someone FaceTime you, those fundamental human interactions, the human experience of experiencing the world around you without interruption, is what I think might start going away. I mean, I think there's a decent amount of evidence that suggests that people are already just addicted to their devices, right? So I'm currently still in Japan, and one of the things that I saw on trains, especially, and just in public, especially in larger cities, was how people just refused to look away from their device, except when they had to get off the train, right? Except when they had to, go downstairs or something like that. I mean, people, and this is maybe not the worst here, but certainly, around the world in general, people are addicted to these kind of our devices, right? And our devices fundamentally are a human creation, right? But they're not. I don't think they're what make. They make up I don't think they make up the human experience, right? That's not something that I personally do not want to have a human experience over a screen, right? I want to look at someone, I want to touch someone. I mean, like their hand, right? Or hug them, not whatever. And I think the same thing goes for different kind of experiences, not interpersonal, but with the world around us, right? If we constantly have a screen in front of our face, if we're constantly looking at a screen, it really does, I think, take away from, the beauty that the world currently has to offer. A good example, while I've been in Japan here, I've done quite a bit of sightseeing, on my own or with my father, and I largely do it without looking at my phone once. Probably because I don't have service. I didn't want to do the international plan, but the most technology that I have is this camera, right, that I'm looking into right now. But rather than kind of communicating with another part of the world and distracting me from what was in front of me, which is a mountain, a scenic view, a river, a forest of trees, just absolutely gorgeous. My camera acts as a means to capture it, right? To save it. There's no communication, right? It doesn't link up to any kind of social media. It doesn't give me alerts. It doesn't do any of that. And with my phone not having service, it's absolutely incredible not having to think about this vibration that you might have in your pocket, or a ding, a message, a Teams message, an email, or anything like that. And I think I've genuinely found that escaping my technology, right, as a whole, I really have not been on my phone much this entire trip, and it has been absolutely incredible, right? This escape, this break from not tech, I don't want to say technology in general, because I've, watched TV, and like I said, my camera is technically technology, but where technology is going, right, where it's all people are linked and people are talking to each other and seeing what other people are doing, that type of environment, having a break from that and a prolonged break from that has been extremely salubrious, I think is the word I'm looking for me, right? I feel very refreshed, and that could be for multiple reasons, obviously, but I definitely do believe that having this break from technology in that sense as a whole contributed to that. So in general, I do think, like I said, the topic of technology is just far too grand for a video like this. It would have to be very extensive, and different points would need to be covered. But at least from where I'm sitting right now, and how I'm perceiving technology being more and more implemented into our day-to-day life, our personal life, our work life, and I will say I do like technology implemented into work, because work is a productivity thing, right? But I don't necessarily need that in my personal life. I know how to do that, on my own. I don't need it in my interpersonal life or anything like that. And I don't know, I think it's kind of something that maybe more people should be cognizant about, as to, what technology is good for them, what technology is bad, what machines are good for them, what machines might not be the best for them, and so on. Not only, obviously, is there a financial question here, because generally speaking, these new tech and so on are very, very expensive, and there's probably other things that you could do with that money. But there's kind of that personal aspect of it too, right, that I mentioned, where having a break from technology, right, has been amazing for me, and only having it at certain parts of the day, obviously, to edit videos, to maybe catch up on a little bit of news, has been sufficient, right? That's all I need, and I don't necessarily want anymore. I want human interactions, right? I want to be talking to people and feeling kind of the world around me, the sun on my skin, the wind in my face, and all of the feeling leaves and that kind of stuff. I'm not a hippie by any means. I didn't turn into a hippie coming here, but those kind of experiences, I think, contribute to our human experience that we're supposed to have while we're living. And I don't know, I guess I just feel like technology can have a way of taking us away from that. It gets us too addicted. It gets us too wrapped up in it. And I'm going to start early now and try to get away from it as much as I can. Obviously, there needs to be exceptions to it, but little by little, I want to start breaking away from it and really focusing on what I believe is truly important when it comes to the human experience that we're supposed to have here on Earth. But there you go. A little bit longer of a Monologue Monday. I do apologize for that. As always, I hope you were able to take something away from this video, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.